Oprah mocked John Kennedy's faith on live TV. His response left her speechless. The Harpo Studios stage gleamed under the glow of massive studio lights, its polished floors and plush velvet chairs exuding an air of sophistication. At the center of it all sat Oprah Winfrey, America's media titan, a woman whose voice had shaped culture, inspired millions, and turned heartfelt conversations into a global empire. Today, she was hosting a much-hyped special titled Spirituality in the New Age, a showcase of big ideas featuring religious leaders, motivational speakers, and influential figures. The audience buzzed with anticipation, their applause echoing through the cavernous studio as the cameras rolled broadcasting live to millions. But beneath Oprah's warm smile and practiced charm lay a calculated plan, one known only to her and her inner circle of producers, to challenge the Christian faith of her special guest, Senator John Neely Kennedy from Louisiana. With her razor-sharp wit and media savvy, Oprah believed she could corner Kennedy, a man known for his blunt honesty and conservative values, and make him squirm before a global audience. What she didn't know was that this day, this moment, would turn the tables in ways she could never have imagined. As John Kennedy stepped onto the stage, he carried an unshakable calm. His navy suit, neatly tailored but unflashy, spoke of a man who valued substance over show. In his jacket pocket rested a small Bible, not for display, but as a quiet reminder of why he was here. The audience clapped politely, but there was a palpable tension in the air, a mix of curiosity and expectation. They knew Kennedy wasn't your average politician. He was the kind of man who spoke openly about his Christian faith, even when it earned him accusations of being old-fashioned or divisive. Oprah greeted him with her trademark warmth, her smile as inviting as ever, though her eyes betrayed a glint of calculation. "Senator Kennedy, it's an honor to have you with us today," she said, her voice smooth and welcoming, the kind that could put anyone at ease. "We're in for a fascinating conversation about spirituality, hope, and what guides us through life." Kennedy nodded, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Thank you, Oprah. I'm glad to be here," he replied, his voice low and warm, laced with the unmistakable drawl of Louisiana's bayou country. He settled into his chair, hands resting lightly on his knees, his posture relaxed but alert. In his heart, though he knew this was no ordinary interview, he'd heard about Oprah's ventures into spirituality, her high-priced courses, her partnerships with New Age gurus, her knack for turning ancient wisdom into profitable products. He hadn't come to judge her, but he wasn't about to back down if the truth was at stake. Before arriving, he'd prayed quietly, asking God for wisdom and courage to speak what needed to be said, no matter the cost. This wasn't about winning a debate. It was about standing for something bigger. Oprah started with soft questions, easing the audience into the conversation. She asked about Kennedy's work in the Senate, how he connected with the people of Louisiana, and the challenges of navigating a polarized political landscape. Kennedy answered with sincerity, tossing in a touch of Southern humor that drew chuckles from the crowd. His stories about meeting constituents, farmers, teachers, small-town preachers, painted a picture of a man grounded in his roots. But Oprah wasn't here for small talk. She shifted gears, her tone sharpening just enough to signal a change. "Senator," she said, her smile still in place, but her eyes narrowing slightly, "you often talk about your Christian faith in your speeches. You've said it's the cornerstone of your life. But in a diverse world like ours, where people find meaning in so many different ways, isn't it a bit outdated to insist there's only one path to God?" The question landed like a well-aimed dart, striking at the heart of Kennedy's publicly professed Christianity. The audience fell silent, their eyes darting between Oprah and Kennedy, waiting for his response. Some leaned forward, intrigued by the challenge. In a culture that prized inclusivity and open-mindedness, the idea of one exclusive path to God felt rigid, almost confrontational. Oprah knew this, and she was banking on it. She expected Kennedy to either defend his beliefs and come off as narrow-minded, or soften his stance and undermine his own faith. It was a trap, and she was confident she'd set it perfectly. But Kennedy didn't flinch. He met Oprah's gaze, then turned to the audience, his eyes warm and steady, the kind of look that made you feel seen. Oprah. Let me tell you about a woman named Mary from Baton Rouge. He began, his voice slow and deliberate, carrying the weight of a storyteller who knows his tale matters. Mary's a single mom, lost her husband in a car accident a few years